Welcome, Pisces. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your June general reading. I've laid out the axis of the horoscope wheel. I'll start reading with the 10th house, but I will clarify beginning with the first house with the African Tarot. I will finish off with an oracle card. And if you resonate with this reading, if you enjoy it, if you find it useful, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really enjoy your comments. I thank you so much for all the support, the donations that you've shared with me. And let's get started, Pisces, with your overall energy for the month of June, the Queen of Cups. This is showing you to be immensely supportive and compassionate towards others, particularly those you work with. And this is really important because you are finding a lot of joy in understanding your own weaknesses and vulnerabilities, exposing them through the stories that you are able to tell of hardships and difficulties that you've overcome. This ability to narrativize your life, your difficulties, has magnetized others to you because you recognize the support others need and are able to share your own story of overcoming. This is part of you providing guidance and soothing, nurturance and care to those that need it and those that are specifically looking for the guidance to keep going, to sustain their efforts, and to not give up. In the 10th house, we have the Emperor card, and this is you taking some major control of your life, seen by others, particularly in your workplace as a boss. You are able to recognize and hold your own self as your ultimate authority. And this puts you in a very powerful but rather controversial position in our culture where other people are supposed to know what's best for us. This is indicating that you actually have a long track record of accomplishment, and you are able to parlay that into a sense that you are in control no matter who the outer authority may be. You are ultimately in control of your own efforts. This is magnetizing people toward you, either in competition or in support, so that those among your peers, your authorities, your workforce, your team that do recognize the skill and ability in you are drawing that out, are utilizing that ability to give you a problem and watch you solve it. In the first house, we have the Page of Swords. This is indicating your general attitude in life on a daily basis. You're really coming at all aspects of your experience, thinking about the way that you think about it, what your attitudes are, what perspective you have on the way things are, so that you are increasingly open up and cultivating the observer in your mind, the internal witness who is able to observe your behaviors and your attitudes and actions with a view to patterns that do not necessarily gain you what you're consciously after, but recognizing that you are learning how to cultivate those thoughts that will lead you to desired outcomes. In the 4th house, you have the Two of Pentacles, and this is in your home or domestic environment. This may be the result, these attitudes may be the result of childhood patterns or formative years experiences. Right now, you are juggling your domestic environment, your home environment, your base, your root, so that you are trying very hard to keep up with all the new information and new resources that you recognize are available to you. This can look like a lot of dancing as fast as you can, but you are in possession of so much new information and so many new skills that you are really working hard to objectify your past experience so that you can strategize moving forward. In the 7th house, we have the Temperance card, and this is the house of significant others. So this relates to not only your partnerships, emotional partnerships, but also to those business partnerships and your relationship to the things that you want, your heart's desires. The Temperance is indicating that you have been in a lifelong healing pattern. I would say this probably concurs with the pandemic, as many of us have been forced to look at those external elements and opportunities and align that with those gifts, talents, and obstacles that we face within. This is where you are recognizing the limitations of your former attitudes and environments that you are now able to work through. This card shows tremendous resilience and strength as you gain hope through this emerging vision of the future, this emerging vision of the way that the world can be. And this is giving you increased faith in your own capacity to implement the changes within your life that you know will lead to those improvements you're seeking. I'm going to clarify the Page of Swords in the 1st house with the Tower in the 2nd house and the Hermit in the 3rd house. Okay, we have a fair amount of Higher Arcana cards on the table. The Tower is a card that I'm increasingly loving. This card represents lots of new information and unexpected events that are having an impact on you that was not imagined to be desirable. This is something affecting you in a way that is upending your plan, that may be a diversion from the way in which you thought you were moving. But ultimately, you recognize in this unexpected event or this new information that you have greater control and greater opportunities than what was once before you. So the Tower is showing you that you have new skills and powers that are negotiable, that are available to you to get what it is you need as you integrate those lessons into your larger life plan. So the Hermit is indicating that you are very confident in seeking your own authority when you need to make decisions, when you need to communicate, speak truth to power, so that you are understanding the cultivation of your inner voice, seeking answers from those you respect and require, most particularly inward. And I include ancestors in our inward retreat as we look for answers, because our ancestors represent our history, our inheritance moving forward. So this is actually you modeling this process of speaking truth to power in your workplace as well as in your domestic environment. But I really see this having to do with your asserting your authority in your environment, your ability to make the choices that will benefit you over those of the needs of others. The Two of Pentacles in the 4th house is clarified by the 5 of Pentacles in the 5th house and the 9 of Cups in the 6th house. You are indeed overcoming an attitude, a a behavior that reveals a sense of inadequacy when you don't have all the things that you need. This sense of this need to ask for help, which could have been more internalized in the past, believing that that reflected some inadequacy on your part. However, you're understanding that not having everything you need to fulfill an obligation or to mount a task is only a matter of seeking and asking for the support that you need. This is a huge change, I think, culturally, because we live in a culture that says we should all be able to do everything and have everything right off the bat. And in fact, your ability to learn and to solve problems is based on your ability to draw in those involved and seek the support of the entire team. You once had a fatalistic view that you couldn't perhaps have the things that you deserve, but you're now learning that you not only can build towards those things you desire in community or on your own, but along the way you've learned to extract the lessons of love to gain the skills and the pleasure in the process that this learning curve is representing for you. You are in a position of satisfaction and fulfillment on a personal level. You are able to integrate all of the self-love that you are now directing away from the external world back into your own vehicle through your routines, through your habits, so that you are becoming more productive, more efficient, and happier about it. The Temperance card in the 7th house is clarified by the 4 of Pentacles in the 8th house and the 5 of Cups in the 9th house. There are a lot of changes that you're making. The changes are very much about your friends. They're very much about your desire to expand your base, perhaps internationally, overseas, but to distribute your products, talents, and services to a much larger and more diverse community. This is something that once was a fantasy, or there was a sense of loss associated with your contacts with overseas connections, but now you have gained a much stronger connection to your own base of self-knowledge, so that you value the connections you have on their own merit and understand at this point that you can turn these connections into anything that you desire. You are no longer focusing on the past, no longer focusing on the things that you've lost. You're no longer focused on the grieving, but you are turning increasingly to what you have and immense gratitude for that. You are also cultivating this desire to maintain what it is you've learned, what it is you've gained, so that you are providing yourself with increased stability, protection, and security as you share resources with others. The Emperor card in the 10th house is clarified by the Fool and the Ace of Wands in the 12th house. So the sense of sovereignty, the sense that unfortunate impact on your physical resources, your job, reprimands, any way that you assert yourself is now netting you the opportunity to liberate yourself from any kind of confining situation, any place where you're not getting paid enough for your talents, you're not earning the rewards that you believe you've worked for, the sense that others know the best way for you to accomplish a task that you are ultimately experienced in. a lack of openness on the part of your team, of those you work with or those you live with, is really allowing you to recognize the tremendous liberation you have from a circumstance that is no longer serving you. You are moving ahead onto a new path. You're taking the immense skills that you have already realized in your experience and moving on to something brand new. This is you open up to the benefits of traveling, of networking with new people, finding new friends, and allowing yourself to enjoy more of the world that is a part of your inheritance. You are allowing these new contacts to inspire you to build something new, and the potential for your own business, a new position, a new location from which to operate your business or home are all possibilities before you. I'm going to clarify this reading, Pisces, with a botanical inspiration and hope that you have found this reading resonant, useful, enjoyable, and so that you will like and subscribe to my channel. I've pulled the hibiscus, and the key words are beauty and happiness. John Keats so famously said, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." I'm going to leave it here for you, Pisces. I thank you for your time and attention, and until next time, Namaste.